Hi, welcome to Indies Under the Knife, where I play indie games that you've sent me, and today I am playing a little game called Champagne. The developer has sent me this and said that they are looking to get feedback on this game because they made it for a game jam, but they kind of feel that there might be something more there, and they sort of just don't know what to do with it next. So here I am in a tiny bottle of wine. You are monks making some wine. A small simulation game about monks making wine at a monastery. What more could you want? It sounds like a bit of a strange theme, right? But I've played board games with this theme. There is the lovely board game Viticulture. There's probably one of my favourite games in that genre, so I'm not averse to a game about being a little guy who makes some wine. Let's see how we get on. Nice chilled out music. The creator said this game they think will be interesting to players who enjoy City Skylines and Stardew Valley, which is an interesting combination of things. I think those games have different appeal in terms of like the level of interaction you have with people, because City Skylines is like super zoomed out and the people in it are just numbers that you have to keep happy, which is kind of different from what's going on in a farming sim where you're interacting with members of the community as individuals. But let's see what this is like. Click an empty field tile to have your monk plant grapevines. Look, he's whining, doing some wine. Click the next season. Click on the vines you planted to have your monk tend to them. This protects the vines, improves the wine they will produce. Okay. Click the vines again to have them harvested. It's winter. The wine is fermenting and your monk is resting for the winter. Okay. A new monk has joined your monastery. Your monks can now bottle the wine you fermented over the winter. Your monks can also plant new vines, or they can prune existing vines, which improves the wine they will produce. Both monks have tasks, then click next season. So yeah, this is actually quite similar to the Viticulture game I just showed you, because it is effectively a worker placement game. In board games, in worker placement games, it's effectively there are spaces on the board, you place characters to take actions, and that is pretty much all you do. And the actions can do different things. It might be this action spends this resource and gets you this thing, this action turns this thing into another thing, and so on. Using a little character to select an action each turn, and that's all you do. And that's what's happening here so far, but on a big grid, because video games. I can riddle my wine. This removes the sediment and improves the wine's quality. So every turn I'm making a decision between putting my monks in the field, which I think I can still do, although it's not allowing me to do it here now, maybe because it's not spring. And then I can riddle the wine, or I can I couldn't put another monk on the field that time. I think maybe it needs to be clearer when you can and can't plant. So I think this game is suffering a little bit from these rounds when I can't do anything. It's like it's a cool structure to just have two actions each round and you put them in different places, but they need to be able to do something each time. At the moment, it's like winter, there is nothing for them to do. They're just resting. You have to skip, and I would try and avoid that. I would try and give people enough stuff they can do on those off turns. So I'm going to plant. I'm just going to plant this time. Can you get... Are we going to get one new monk every time? Is that how this is working? Very pretty little game. I mean, I like this in terms of the vibe. It's very enjoyable to listen to lute music and tend to some fields. The king has demanded 2 bottles of champagne or 20 gold coins in tax. You can have some coins. I don't trust my wine to be good enough. So I really like this on a sort of aesthetic level. I think it's kind of minimalistic, but it's cute and it's kind of relaxing to play as well. But I do feel like something is missing a little bit. And I think what is missing is a sense of competing priorities. Part of me just wants to say, play Viticulture, play the board game Viticulture or play the whatever video game equivalent there is of that, because I think what that game does a good job of is having other things that you can do. I keep trying to bottle when I've already put my guys out on the field. I like the fact that you can click on them and take them away if you want to give them another job, but I really do want to just get everyone growing crops at the moment, even though I don't think I can actually manage that many fields. But we'll just see how it goes. As always, if this looks interesting to you, let the devs know what you think in the comments, and I'll put a link in the description of the video, so go and play it, because it's a cute little game and it's quite a relaxing way to spend a little bit of time. But I do think turning this into a full game that people are going to play for a considerable amount of time, it's going to need something else in it, and I don't know what that is yet. I'm not feeling the sort of push and pull that you need in a management game of competing objectives, right? That's what you need in any sort of management game, whether it's like managing a city or managing a business. You sort of need things going towards this sort of seesaw state where you cannot keep things stable and happy, right? Otherwise, there's nothing to kind of keep you engaged once you build up your business or empire. The classic one would be like in a city builder, you have to keep your people happy without spending all your money, right? That's the kind of competing forces in a kind of conventional city builder game. And I think the same sort of principle applies to any sort of management game, as if you do not have that push and pull of competing objectives, then the game is gonna just run out of stuff to keep you interested and engaged in what you're doing. And I think I've already hit that point in this, but it is lovely. Just think it needs something else. And what that something else is really going to come from the theme of being a little wine guy, and what makes sense historically in terms of what actually happened with these monks. Are they Trappist monks, or is Trappist just for beer? I don't know. I don't know my monk classifications. 92 coins. That's satisfying. It's satisfying getting lots of coins for my lovely wine. A minute ago, I'm like, oh, I'm disengaged now. I've seen all this game has to offer, but now I've got 90 coins. So actually, I'm going to keep playing because I'm quite excited about all my money that I'm going to spend on monk stuff. I don't know what. All bottles sold this season are worth more due to the summer festival. Okay, well, I don't have anything bottled, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm not hitting a point where I can have more than 3 monks either. I do think this is a really neat little game. I enjoyed my time with it. I think it's very charming, the combination of the pixel art and the sort of relaxing pastoral music and so on, and I can see the appeal here. If there is a way that you can create that sort of seesaw dynamic in this game, I don't know what it would be, but I think that is what you would need to do to make this into a bigger game with a slightly larger appeal. And at the moment, I find the moment-to-moment, turn-to-turn of it really pleasurable. I think there are too many dead turns where there's nothing to do, so you need to think of something that these monks could do in winter. But a lot of those ideas are going to come from the theme of winemaking monks, and I don't have enough kind of historical knowledge about winemaking monks to know what they might get up to in the winter. Maybe they illuminate a manuscript. I'm guessing that's not the same monks, because they would be maybe they'd be drunk and they draw it badly. Yeah, I think delve into the theme that you're working with, delve into the history a little bit, find out some other things that they did besides just making wine, because at the moment the winemaking is not really enough to support a game that people are going to want to play for very long. Play the board game Viticulture, or at least watch other people play it, see how many cues you can take from that. It's not exactly exactly from the same cultural time period, but it might give you some ideas because it's another, well, very successful game about winemaking. Yeah, I feel like I should have had some wine here as a prop. I don't have a monk's costume, but I try not to drink when I'm doing YouTube stuff because I will just say weirder things than usual. And some of you like that, some of you don't like that, some of you don't like it when I make jokes. You go, just please do educational content. Stop trying to be funny. I've got news for you, so I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just a weird person.